Please also check out the link in the description to join the Discord. There's a lot of very clever people in there providing me with diagrams and different things like that I can use in my videos, but it's a very good way to reach me if you want to contact me or anything like that. So yeah, please, let's get the discussion going in there. We've got about 100 people in there, so please join the discussion. And finally, as always, thank you very much to all my members. Thank you, Paul, for joining. You're the latest member. And also Peter Jones, thank you for upgrading to level 2. You do make my videos possible. It does take a lot of time to go out and film these. So thank you for helping the channel continue. Right, we've got an exciting video today. We're going to start off towards these pile caps down the bottom that have no particular action today. And then we are going to fly over towards the rest of the site where a lot of stuff has happened. We can see the storage area over here. That kind of gives us an indication of what they're going to work on. We saw those big steel beams with the little fence-looking structures now getting covered up with decking, which will eventually be formwork, I'm pretty sure. And as we fly up here, we can see them filling in these concrete columns on this side of the water attenuation tank, just to leave the tops of those columns there. And the semicircles still have their half of concrete to pour. Looking at the water attenuation tank, they're pretty much finished all the finished covering it in that new sheet. So I guess we'll get to see what goes on top of that relatively soon. Looking over at the decking section, it doesn't look like they've extended it too much, but what do we have here? So there is now 2 U-beams landed that we saw before. There is now 2 more being put into place, and we will see them removing the cassettes very shortly, which effectively lowers the U-beam down into place. It's good for me as well compared to when I film. Now I can see it on a bigger video. We do see it throughout the video get closer towards the landing area than where it is here. And looking over here, we can see that there's been another 3 U-beams delivered. Now I have been informed by someone on site that these will be continuously delivered for a while now. They've got quite a lot to put in. I don't remember the exact number he said, but it is certainly a lot. And in person, these are huge. You can see it just after you walk past the Woodman pub. There's like a cut through the site you can see, and these are huge. They're like proper bridges. So it'll be good to see when a lot of them have gone in, but they're certainly making some good progress here. And throughout this week, we should be able to see a lot of action happen. Again, as we can see, it's pretty high here at the moment. Much higher than the other ones. It's good now we've got a reference of what it will look like when they're fully landed. We can see on the left hand side the little grooves where the U-beams will end up, so they've actually got to go back a bit more and then also down a fair bit as well, which is why they take those cassettes out. We can see how it joins up to the rebar. Got a much closer look today. It gives us an idea of how much further they have to go before they drop. Looking back across the decking section, they'll continue on down there eventually. And again, decking will go up, and false work actually will go up along those lozenge-shaped concrete pours. And then I think a similar situation across the entirety of the site. Even where these piles are, these will eventually turn into a decking section. The whole site has a team briefing at about 3 PM every day, and it just so happened I had a meeting today, and that meant that I caught this, so we don't get the full action shot of everybody at work, but we will later on in the video. We can see they're continuing with the progress on this rebar, and the ones above it are really taking shape. Even the one on the top right there of that section had started. They've also poured the concrete for this tower crane base. So this is where that will go, and it will be delivered on the the 4th and 5th of July. So that's in about 2 weeks' time. Can't wait for that. I'm trying to remember if they poured the concrete the similar way for the first tower crane. Can't exactly remember, so we might have to go back and take a look at that. See if they're doing a similar process. Over here, these rebar sections have made crazy progress over the last few days. As I mentioned, we will go over there in a moment. I'm most impressed, given the amount of time since yesterday's video, of the progress down by the tram track. It has been simply insane. I can't believe they've done so much in one day. So fair play to them lot, but we will get over there in just a moment. We're looking at all the workers. I think they actually have team meetings in that office block. We can see that they are pouring that concrete that I said they'd be pouring for a while now. They've actually got around to it today. This is another huge milestone. Again, having more office space on site means more workers. And with things like tower cranes and things springing up, we are going to need more workers on site, but that just means it's all going to progress at an even faster rate. I will have a comparison video possibly out this week from some videos I've got about 12 months ago exactly, and the amount of change on site is amazing. I mean, this building that they're putting the patio outside of right now, there was not even an inkling that there was going to be a building here. So it's just things like that, which is pretty crazy. I think they just started the piling a year ago on the actual site. We can see them smoothing out all that concrete, trying to make sure that it cures in the correct way. And eventually they'll just link it all up. I'd imagine it will all have that nice finish on it. Look up at where the trams are leaving. So that's the current last tram stop where that tram has just left from. But eventually it will link all the way into Digbeth through the site. I always get those comments about, oh, it's a waste of money, we should cancel this project. But I think those days are long gone. It's far too built now to even consider cancelling. So, yeah, I'm very excited for HS2 and for the tram track, actually. I know the tram track will happen much before HS2, but even that I think will be very exciting to help people get round. And I hope they put later trams on. They do stop at, I think, like, I don't know the exact time, but I hope, like in London, they put less regular services on later into the night. I think that would be great for the city. Again, another look over at that section, and now we're going to fly further up the site, over the top of that blue crane. It usually has a concrete hopper in. You can see the workers returning. They've got some form work down there that they're going to put around one of the pile caps to pour the concrete in. So we'll have to see where they end up tomorrow, see if we can spot it. I don't know if they've finished. It kind of looks two different tones of concrete in the middle. I don't know if that's fully poured or not. As I mentioned, we can see a lot of the workers returning to the site now. We see those rebar for those 3 columns there are pretty much complete, at least for the 2 on the left hand side. The last one has a little bit left to do. So they'll be getting poured soon. And then a weird sort of green fence has been put up around the right hand side there. Get a better view in just a second. They've now pretty much finished the concrete pour on the left. Increasing the rebar. I still think a tower crane base is going in there, but somebody disagreed in the comments. Getting ready for them to pour that next concrete column up against that back wall. And as we look up here, lots and lots of rebar going down every single day. They've now poured those two pile cap sections, middle right of the screen. So they're finished with them. Some new piles in the top left that they're going to have to cut, and also in the top right. So we're still unveiling piles, not done with that yet. One of the project managers said that will be March or April next year, that every pile that was laid will be dug up. So we've got a while to go for that yet. But in the meantime, a lot of the decking section will continue. This is a connection to the power for the west end bit of the site. These are big like power generators or power. They just connect into the power network. So they'll bring power to the west side of Curzon Street. And this is a great look back over the site. If you zoom in, you can see all the different places where they're working. Over the back of the storage area. I'm now going to fly down, and I believe, if I've got my timeline correct, we're going to go over towards the tram tracks in a moment, which is, as I've mentioned, and I hope you'll agree, one of the most impressive parts of today, as they've done so much in just an hour. Again, the amount of rebar going down here is crazy. It's tons and tons a day over the site anyway. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if it's tons of concrete every day they're pouring between those office blocks and all these columns and pile caps. Someone said it was the largest concrete, largest concrete site in Europe, like pouring site. The most amount of concrete used on a construction site in Europe. So yeah, it's pretty mega. I know we've got Old Oak Common, but I think this must be more if they've said that. I do remember them saying that. We can see them putting the horizontal touches to the pile cap, that rebar going across the top. You can see it down the bottom there. They're doing it in twos to give you an idea of how heavy and long they are. It's not a one-person job. I also caught this. We will have, as always, at the end of the video, it's become a theme. We'll have a much closer up, and we'll just watch what happens with the U-beams for a couple of minutes. I did it in the last couple of videos, and I think I'll continue to do it. As obviously we've got to cover all the changes across the site and the tram tracks, but then it is good to watch them at work as well, just see what's going on. There's a lot of levers. That's what they look like levers with those yellow dots on the end. You can see them pulling them on both sides. We'll see it this side and the other side. Across the SPMT, the self-propelled modular transporter. We'll get a view from the other side in just a moment. Now we're going to get into the tram tracks. Now this is pretty cool today. As we knew yesterday, we thought they would open the road straight away, or pretty soon. The tarmac looks pristine now. We've seen they've done all the road markings. There's cycle lanes all over the place. Yellow lines all along it. Just showing both sides. They've done where those workers are there, they've finished off that patio area, that nice pattern of stone that they've put down. They've finished all that off. And then as we fly down here, they've done all the markings in the middle of the road. Again, patio down here. That turn left area. No, turn left sign on the road. They've got rid of the walkway on the across the road, as you can now just join in from the street and walk the whole way down either side. And it's now opening back up to the public. I know obviously you can't drive down it just yet, but there's no restriction from the road to either side. So that is fabulous work by them, and I think you'll agree. One thing I wanted to point out is you have to agree that when we look down at the road that they've made here, it looks so much more vibrant and new, and obviously they have the utilisation of a tram track compared to the road just beyond it. I know they dug parts of it up, but it was like derelict old road and you couldn't even drive under it anyway. As originally where Curzon Street was, it was just grassland, so it's going to completely utilise the limited amount of roads and things we have in the city. So I was very impressed with how that looked, and the finish on it. Let's hope they keep it up for the rest of the area. We can see here already, as we come back over to the U-beams, that they are lowered down a lot more than before. We can see the workers here strapped into those, I was told what they are, the safety umbrellas that I call them. They're basically big weights that go on the decking section, and it allows the workers to work from height, and basically if they fall off that decking area, which is really high up, basically they won't fall. It's a bit like a rock climbing wall kind of thing. But we can see the U-beams are much lower than they were even at the start of the video. So that is great. We can see the two on the left hand side there and then another one on the right. Now they must be split up for a reason. The angles that the edges of them look to be at different angles, so they're obviously all just like bespoke. If we look at the faces onwards, I've just got away from it there. Obviously they're all tailored for where they actually have to be, but there must be a reason why they're split up either sides of the those concrete lozenge columns. I just thought I'd record some of the activity around the site. I will put on at the end of the video, I got some footage of Curzon number 2 viaduct. I don't want to say too much because I don't have the full facts, but I've heard that they will resume working on it tomorrow, potentially, but not before tomorrow. Last week there was a bit of an incident on the site, and I hope the worker is okay if that is a possibility, or not okay, but I hope he is recovering and coming to terms with it a little bit, no matter how hard that may be. But there was a bit of an incident on the site over when they started taking the nose off, so I hope that he is okay, and they've stood down all their operations over there for just a couple of days, but we will see when they get that working over at Curzon number 2 viaduct again. But that's why I haven't filmed it too much in today's video, although they will be getting rid of the nose as soon as possible, and I think that'll happen pretty quickly. A look over at the Hall Road is just what I was looking at there, and how it all connects up. And then I like to look at the tower crane, the first tower crane on site. There'll be another one of these in 2 weeks' time, lifting up that little cage. I don't know if it transports people or whatever it is. and eventually they dropped it right by that blue machine on the right hand side. I did watch it come down. I don't know if I got that on video, but that's where it ended up. And this is just a cool look over the site. We can see the activity pick up after their 3 PM meeting. More workers returning here now. And I just wanted to point out, because I'm not sure we got a clear view of it before, the formwork where they're pouring the concrete into this last rectangle shaped area, and also this decking section over here on this false work. This is pretty new, I think. This is just to the left of the diagonal decking section. And a look over at the concrete that they poured. By the time they put these U-beams in, I think they'll be able to take the formwork off that concrete that they poured, and they'll be able to continue. I'm trying to think of when they poured it. It's at least a week ago now. I know it can take more than a week to basically cure, but it should be good to go pretty soon. And we can see he's got one of those levers in his hand as well that's attached to the bottom of the U-beam. We can see the telehandler taking one of the cassettes off, which lowers it down. That's how they lower the U-beams down. And again, this is the finished, well, they've basically got rid of the concrete pourer now. So they've finished pouring that concrete out the back of here. This is a quick look over the Curzon No. 2 area, where some contractor called BBV, that's part of their name anyway, have control of this area of the site. We can see the large crane that will be taking down the nose of Curzon No. 2. But obviously there's no work there for the reasons I have just spoke about. What will happen is now, as there's basically nothing to talk about or see that I could point out, there might have been some movement on site. I did see some people leaving here, so there might be some cleanup operation going on. But what's going to happen with this video for just the last few minutes is it's going to fly over the Lawley Middleway. You're going to get some close-up pictures of the decking crane, on the right-hand side, that will be hoisted up, and then we're going to look at the decking over the canal side viaducts, and then that'll be it for the video. But obviously, as there's not a lot happening, it's not worth me rambling over it for 3 minutes. So thank you all very much for watching. I appreciate it, and all the support, every like, every comment, more than you know. And especially the subscribers. Thank you for making this a possibility. If we keep growing the channel, I would love to do better and better quality content. So let's keep it going. Well, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.